Welcome to the Journey 2020. I'm Charles Morris, happy to be with you here as we come to you every Monday right here at www.thejourney2020.com. And as you know, well, first of all, I'm Charles Morris, happy to be coming off the weekend. Like any and every weekend, I always had fun, had a chance to go to my hometown for the first time this summer, because usually we start out at the end of May, but this is the first time this summer I was able to go water skiing. Usually we go about 6 times a year. 6 times during the summer. But because of my friend who I go with, he's been tied up very busy because of the weather. He finally got some parts for the boat, his boat, by the way, not mine. He said, come on, I put everything back together, I ordered the part, everything's good. Can you go out on Saturday? I'd be like, yes. So had a very fun time in Jayville, going up there, and had, as you know, for anybody who knows me, knows that when I go to Jacksonville, I have to stop by Holly's and get my curlicues. So I stopped by Holly's to get my curlicues, and for those who don't know what the curlicues are, they only sell them in Jacksonville, not curly fries, even though they're really potatoes. But there's this thing that only Jacksonville has. It's called curlicues. Okay, so they're potatoes that's curly, like a curly fry, but they are cooked a little and they're kind of soft, but then they are covered with barbecue sauce based on what type of barbecue sauce that you like. Put them in the bag, and I always ask for extra sauce. And so it's kind of like, so you have to eat them with the sauce on your fingers, you know. But anyway, had a fun time, had a great time skiing, made it back, and of course I'm here today. And as you know, for a while now, the third Monday of every month is when we have the wonderful and the one and only, as you say, board certified sex therapist, Miss Kathy Meeks. But we're gonna bring Kathy on in a second. But I want to let you know about the fourth Monday starting this month. We're going to have Hakeem Nkrumah on. He is the manager and the guy that's over Young Fathers of Central Florida. And he's been doing a tremendous work here in Central Florida area, I think now for going on 10 years. And so what we're going to do on the fourth Monday of every month is that we're going to talk about and help you for those who have legal questions, who have questions about their child support. If you're trying to see your child, or questions in dealing with court issues, how all of that works, because I've been to some of his meetings. I've seen the men around the table. I've seen some of them in tears when it comes to child support, custody, relationships, whether or not they're going through divorce, so on and so forth, how the court system is doing them, and so on and so forth. And a lot of that has to do with because they don't know their rights, so on and so forth. So that's going to be a great show, and that we're looking forward to that as well. So you make sure that you tune in starting next month. It's going to be the fourth Monday of every month, and we're going to be talking with Hakeem, and we're going to try to help you out, help you cut through a lot of that red tape, because it's great when you know the law. It makes all the difference in the world. Okay, and the system is set up. The system is set up to frustrate you. The system is set up to kind of take your money when you don't know the law. So with that being said, you make sure that you tune in. It's going to be very informative, and I think it's going to be very beneficial for you. Well, that brings us up to this lady that's sitting there, look like she's doing her nails right now. Are you doing your nails?
No, I am not. I am listening to you. I'm so tuned into what you're saying.
Well, hello,
Looking forward
Dr.
to listening
Meeks.
to
How are
Mr.
you?
Hakeem. I am doing just wonderful. Thank you for having me. How are you doing?
Well, there's a saying that any day above ground is a great day. So with
Oh,
that
what a
being
blessing.
said, I would say that I am truly blessed.
Awesome.
And so did you do anything special this past weekend?
Did I? I can't remember. Actually, Yes, I was, well, it's kind of work related, not really. I don't know if it's not going to be of interest to you. It's actually was a workshop for veterans. So, coming back home dealing with intimacy issues. So that
Oh,
was it. It was special for the people. It was a little bit of work for me, but fun nevertheless.
oh, okay. Well, I just, well, the people are always excited on the third Monday of every month because we get to talk about sex, right?
Let's talk about sex.
Oh, oh, oh. Now we gonna sing. Well, listen,
Oh,
we wanted to talk about the workshop. What is it? Love and relationship workshop. Is it sex and
let's
relationship?
talk love, sex, and commitment. Let's talk relationships, love, sex, and commitment.
Okay, love, sex, and commitment. Do,
Yeah.
now, do they usually go hand in hand? Ha ha.
That's funny, right? That's meant to be funny, right?
It shouldn't be though, right? Right?
Yeah.
You know. So now, for those that don't know, you started the show about 3 months ago. About 3 months ago,
Wow,
and
time flies.
right, and you had talked about one of the main reasons that you wanted to come on the show was because you wanted to do something that you thought that was very much needed, and I'm going to let you
Mhm.
say why.
Well, I felt that there are so many people who are out of touch with their emotions. They do not know what intimacy is. They tend to think that intimacy and sex is synonymous, and that's not the case. And also, there are different types of love, different types of relationships. And I felt that there was a need to distinguish those things. So that's what I felt would be beneficial to the people so that they can have those clear understanding.
Now, because of what you do, I can only imagine. I can't imagine you having a boring job. I just can't imagine that. I can't. Well, let
Boring?
me ask you this
No,
right here.
no, definitely not.
But let me ask you this right here. Can it be stressful for you?
I wouldn't even say stressful. I would say overwhelmed.
Okay.
Just, sometimes with some of the stories, I do tend to get overwhelmed. And since I have a need to help people, I think I need to help people. Sometimes the problems are so complex that it becomes overwhelming. But nevertheless, we generally, work through it. And every time I see a person emerge, with a healthier outlook on their sexuality, I feel like I'm doing my job.
All right. All right. I would love to be a fly on the wall just simply because, again, we have, no, no, I mean, we have shared my experience of my sexual behavior work. I mean, my sexual behavior class when I was in college. And it was very, very, very enlightening because, we learn our sexuality and through really television, by chance when it comes to our surroundings, our friends, and our relationships. It's not something that we're really taught, if there's such a thing. I don't know when it comes to the core of the family and how you would go about that because, I've never been married and I don't have kids. So when it comes to a lot of things, because we're taught right and wrong, when it comes to certain things, when it comes to relationships, how we should act and dating and that type of stuff. But the whole thing of dating and how we deal with the emotional part of it is just, it's that's pretty. difficult to do because each and every one of us responds differently through our emotions and what it means to us. So that's kind of difficult because let's just say, because I know you have two daughters, you know,
Uh-huh.
so I'm saying you can sit down, and this is something that I know that you can sit down and have a mother-daughter talk about, as we would call back in the day, about the birds and the bees in relationship, and they both can get up and walk away with something different, the both of them. And then based on who they are and when they're in a relationship and how they will respond could be totally different. So that's what I mean by how difficult it can be when it comes to our sexuality, because we all respond differently and it means different things to us about who we are, if that makes sense.
It's kind of makes, I see where you're going with this, and I'm going to preface what I'm saying by what I'm about to say by this statement. One of the reasons why I went into this field is, and I think I've mentioned this on your show before, is that when I was growing up, sex was taboo. It was for procreation, and you did not have it outside of wedlock because I grew up in a Christian home. So, therefore, you should wait until you get married. And it was never explained to me what sexuality is, or if there is a way that it could be enhanced to be enjoyable. I didn't even think it was supposed to be enjoyable. I just thought it should be that you have sex and you bring a child into the world. I had my first child when I was 17. But, in my home, I'm going to say this, in my home, my girls, trust me, they know, they think I'm crazy because I talk to them about sexuality. I tell them the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, they are pretty versed on sexuality, what it is, and what it should not be, and what it should be.
Right. But my point that I was trying to make, Kathy, was
Sorry,
this
I
right
missed your
here.
point.
No, no. What I
Uh-huh.
was trying to say was, let's just say there's that you have. Let's just say again, you have two daughters. Okay, you have two daughters,
Uh-huh.
and
Mhm.
both daughters waited until they were married before they had sex. Okay. But my point that I'm trying to say is that even so, with that, each individual still brings to the table their own emotions and their perception of what it is inside of them is what I'm trying to say, is that we're different. How we respond,
Oh, yeah.
our understanding of it is what I'm trying to say. And so you just never know, like and then what I mean by that is, just to be blunt, one daughter could walk in and find her husband in bed with another woman, and the other one can walk in and find her husband in bed with another woman, and they both respond differently, and their reaction and what it means to see that is different, and how they would respond and how it would hurt them differently is what I'm trying to say. I mean, does that
Oh,
make
gotcha.
sense?
I see what you're saying. I
Yep.
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But the values and their beliefs about sex is pretty much the same thing. They understand I make sure that I clarify what intimacy is, what infidelity is. So if both of them were to walk in on their husbands, both of them are married, thank God. If both of them were to walk in on their husbands, they're both um, going to
Well,
recognize that it's infidelity.
no, 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 no,
What
no.
what are you
I
trying? I'm
mean,
missing something.
no, no, no. We both know that, but I'm talking about what I'm trying to say
The
is,
emotions.
yeah, emotionally, how it affects us. Where some, like one could get over it sooner, the other one, they carry it longer. One may go get a gun, the other one may go get a knife, the other one may just may walk out. But that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
Well,
how
yes, I understand different
Right.
emotions. Don't use my daughters as example because they're my children. So they're both going to go for the jugular. So let's not use my daughters. Let's say in
Wait a minute, hold
general,
on, wait a minute, wait a minute,
process
wait a minute, wait a minute,
emotions.
hold on, wait a minute, wait a minute. Is this the therapist that's saying go for the juggler? Is this the therapist that's saying go for the juggler? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because for me, I have no issues with people who believe in polyamory. But if I'm in a monogamous relationship and my husband tells me that I'm in a monogamous relationship, then if I walk in and I find him with somebody else in bed, well, you better believe that somebody is going to end up in the hospital. Okay? Put it that way. Now, if we have an understanding that we're not in a monogamous relationship, it's polyamory, then it's all good. I'll say, oh, are you guys having fun? Okay, get back to what you're doing, and I walk out.
Okay, now, hold on. Now, even though this right here should be another show, this should be another show.
Uh-huh.
I would love to bring on Dr. Robinson to talk about women who goes to this place in which they need to go to the juggler when they walk in and see, and the same thing for men. The same thing for men. So I would like to have that conversation about how you rationalize, even though I do understand, but I don't, because I won't get into that on this show. That's a different show. That's a different show.
Okay.
But we already know somebody going to the hospital, so we're gonna push that over there for a minute.
So what? So Charles, this is where boundary setting come in because I am saying that if we have an understanding that we're in a monogamous relationship, that cannot happen with me personally. And if my understanding is that we're in a monogamous relationship, that will not happen. But if we have an understanding, if I get to the point where I have evolved, where I think that polyamory is going to work for me, then I walk in, I'm going to say, are you guys having fun? Is there anything I can bring you
That's not, no,
guys?
no,
Or,
no.
something of
That's not
that
the point. No,
nature.
that's not the point that I'm trying to make. That's not the point that I'm trying to make. My point that I'm trying to make is where you come to a place, and I'm saying we can talk about it later, but where you come to a place where anything in life take you to a place where now you have to harm another person. That's what I'm talking about. Where,
Well, and I tell this is where the managing of your emotions is very important because the
mhm.
reality is it doesn't matter how educated you are, how calm you are, when you feel like you're betrayed,
Oh, I got that.
because for
No,
me,
no, I
that will
got
be
that.
betrayal. So whenever a person feels like they're betrayed, you are going to get a certain response. I'm just being real.
Oh,
Listen,
no,
I'm
no, no, no,
Caribbean
no,
and
no,
I'm
no. I
black.
got that. I've been around long enough to understand that. Oh, trust me. But I also been around long enough, and I'm saying it from the standpoint that I'm old enough now where there's a place of peace that I have with myself that I like to think that there's a place that somebody can't take me. I'm hoping that's what it is because of where I
I
like to
am
think that
not
I am.
there, and that's wonderful, Charles, but I'm not there
Oh,
yet.
no, no, no. I got
And I
that.
do know that
That's
one of
why I
the
said I
fruits of
wanted
the
to ask the doctor
spirit.
about that. I got that.
And
There's
I
plenty of us
know
that's not there. There's plenty of us that's not there. Plenty. So that's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah, and
saying.
I am peaceful. Now, after I do my damage, I'm going to come back and I'm going to say, okay,
After
I'm
you
going to
and
come
see and
back.
see, know what I like? I already heard you say you're gonna go to the juggler.
Then
Already
I
heard
can
you say
have
you're gonna do the
peace.
damage. So I get that. Yeah, okay, all right. Now, I was having this conversation the other day with somebody, and that is, please let the guy know where you are up here before you give him your phone number.
Well, and I I tell you what, Charles, maybe because I'm at this stage in my life, that will not happen to me because I know who I'm with. And we have that understanding. We set boundaries. So I hate to tell you, that's not going to happen to me because if I find somebody who I can trust and I'm unable to set those boundaries with them, I'm not going to be with them. So I'm kind of joking about this because, I recommend that everybody set boundaries. There are different types of
Kathy, Kathy,
relationships.
Kathy.
Uh-huh.
It sounds so good in theory. It really does. It sounds so good. You know, I used to
Well,
have
I
this.
tell
I
you
used to.
what.
I used to have this same conversation with a friend of mine on the radio, named
Mhm.
Marion Edwards. Marion always talked about her boundaries. Bless her soul. Man, I used to tell her all the time. I said, Marion, it sounds good, and you understand boundaries, but a lot of people don't. No, people have no idea what boundaries are. Like I say, God gave it to you. But it sounds really good, Kathy. It does. Boundaries. It does.
That's why people should be equally yoked, where you are pretty much on the same level. But I tell you what, if my husband were to come home and say, I had an indiscretion, we can sit and talk about it, I probably won't kick his butt. But you mean I walk in and I see that, not expecting to see it, I guarantee you I'm going to kick his butt. I'm not at a point, and I know my limitations. I do know my limitations, but I can honestly tell you that knowing the person that I am not going to just walk out and say, hey, and just close the door. That's not me. Listen, I'm passionate
no,
in
no,
bed
no,
and
no,
I'm
no, no,
passionate
no,
out of
no.
bed.
That's not what I
I'm
said.
passionate about everything in life.
That's not what I said.
Just
Just close the
saying.
door. That's not what I said. That's that's not even
You're
reasonable. That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
Well, and that's why I'm saying to you that I am just a passionate person. I'm passionate in bed, I'm passionate out of bed, I'm passionate about life. So I know me. I'm saying that if I walk in there, I'm going to do some damage, then I'm going to walk out and have peace afterwards. That's all I'm saying. I'm just being real.
I'm just saying. I just, I'm well. Yeah, hey,
I'll
all
have
right.
peace
I mean,
afterwards.
like I
Yeah.
said, that is another show because I would love to talk about that part of it. Because trust me, especially me being a man, and the reason why I said we were talking about it the other day was because I had a friend that I was explaining to somebody that used to make these penis jokes. And I told her, I said, you can't make
Uh-huh.
penis jokes with men. No, 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 no. You cannot do that. Well, no, sister, you got
Why?
issues. You can't be making those kind of jokes. So
Why
I'm just
not?
saying. So when you have that type of mentality, you start out with that type of mentality. Brothers already know to run. You know not to touch that person. No. You already starting out big.
Well,
The red
well,
signs,
and
lights
again,
flashing, sirens going off. No, no.
no, but you know something. See, I would want somebody to know the real me.
Well, yeah,
They're going to want to be with me because they know that because
that's
sex
not how
is
it works,
just one
Kathy.
dimension.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Hmm. How does it work?
But that's
Please
again, that's
tell
another
me.
show. That's
Pray
not how it
tell.
works.
Pray
Me,
tell.
see,
How does it work?
that's not how it works, Kathy. I'm telling you, it doesn't work that way. When you say, "Well, I know what somebody want to be with me," that's not how it works. It don't work that way, but that's okay. Listen, um, that's another show. That's another show. It doesn't work that way.
Okay.
It does not work that way.
And here is the thing, Charles. On a serious note, I really find it hard to believe that a woman and a man who are supposed to be in a monogamous relationship, they walk in and experience that type of betrayal and they maintain peace about it. I
And
really don't see, we're not being real.
wait a minute, wait a minute. And they're what now?
They now a man and a woman, they're in a monogamous relationship. That's the understanding, right?
Okay. Right.
And they walk into a room and they find their mate in bed with somebody else. And
Okay.
their understanding is that they were in a monogamous relationship. I'm telling you that immediately the brain gets hijacked and they respond.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I get that. I get that. But I'm saying I like to think at this point and stage of my life that I'm in a different place, and there's that. I like to think that I love myself a little bit too much now, in the sense that,
And it's because I love myself
right, right.
why I could not sit back calmly.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Like I said, that is another show. That's another show. That's another show. But we see we oh boy. Ooh, but see, men respond differently, but women, because we got that ego macho thing going on. But anyway, let's talk about the workshop. Let's talk about the workshop. Let's talk about the workshop.
Yeah, because,
Yeah. Let's talk about the workshop. Okay, so
uh-huh,
the idea came of the workshop. We talked about it on the show, but you also put the word out yourself. And when you did
uh-huh.
put the word out, what was the response that you were getting back from when you put the word out?
I got the response was overwhelming. People, people wanted to come. They just wanted to be there.
Okay. Now, what now ahead of time, because we had we had a conversation before the workshop. What were you expecting before the workshop?
Well, to be honest with you, I thought people would pre-register before because I wanted to kind of gauge the response.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, when I didn't get the response on the pre-registration, was not what I thought it should be. I got a little bit concerned. I'm like, well, we're not getting too many pre-registration. But based on, I was talking to people and they were like, oh, we're going to be there. But then the weather was really bad. And I was like, okay, then I don't know what's going to happen. But I mean, it, it was great. People came out and were very supportive.
Right. Now, I liked the workshop. I thought it was very informative. But now, if I had been doing the workshop, right,
Uh-huh.
let me tell you what I would have done, right? Because this has nothing to do with you. This is just my personality, right? Because I'm kind
Okay.
of, because I'm kind of wacky like that.
Hmm.
But I would probably, because of me, do
Uh-huh.
a little bit more interacting. Like for an example, there was like I would have called you up, right? I was, Kathy, come here. And I would have said something like, you my wife. And I just came home from work and you in a little sexy mood. What would you do to convey your sexy mood to me? I would have asked one of the couples to come up and demonstrate a little something, or have a little an encounter or talk, just because I wanted to be, because that's just me, because I'm kind of crazy like that, and
Hmm.
just and probably do some role playing, good, bad, or indifferent. I know what it was. Oh, because you put up the different type of relationships. You
Uh-huh.
say there was intimacy, I mean, you know what I'm talking about? You were saying
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
yeah, this part of the relationship has this part of the relationship, but it don't have this, but this has this, but this
Right.
don't have
Yeah.
that, right? So what I probably would have done was I probably would have played role on what each one of those was. like, like, okay, I'm talking to my partner, and this is what this one is. This is how I talk. This is how I interact, and because this is this one, and then with this one is like this one. This is what you do, just for the interaction. That's all. That's just me.
Yeah, good idea, but we didn't have 4 hours to do it. This was our first workshop. There were
I'm
some
not
things
talking
that,
about that. I'm not talking about you and what you were doing. I'm just saying me and how I do stuff. I'm not talking about. I'm just saying that you. I'm not saying you did anything wrong, woman. Woman. I'm just talking
no,
about my
and I'm
personality.
not taking it that way either. I'm just saying that would be a good idea for future workshop because I'm open to getting responses because this is something that's going to be ongoing.
Yeah.
So definitely, I wanted more interaction, but we had one segment that kind of went on and it eliminated the fun part that I think would have been more interactive with the discussion, bringing out the sex toys and all those things. Had that planned, just didn't happen. Um, but it will get better. We're learning from this one. So the next one, we're definitely going to have more interaction.
Yeah.
Although I will say that the feedback that I've gotten from the majority of the people is that it was positive. This was
Mm-hmm.
foundational because I wanted to get that information out there about what constitutes intimacy, what sex is, the importance of boundary setting. I think you need that in relationships. And people need to know the different types of relationships.
Okay. Well,
So,
what I
I
mean,
just believe,
as you talk, keep on talking, because now I'm going to show some of the pictures.
so I'm saying that as we continue with our workshops, we can learn from some of the things. I've learned some things that can be improved. So, we'll just continue fine tuning it so that it's better next time.
Well, isn't that your grandchild right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there is your daughter and your grandchild, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But you had a nice turnout, and like I
I think
said,
it was great.
I asked you what was the feedback, and they gave you very positive feedback. But you said that they were asking when the next one is going to be, and
Hmm.
as you see, we had food, okay, right? And there you with your beautiful daughter. Did I ever tell you that you have a beautiful daughter?
Of course, yes, you have.
Oh, and then you're talking about the table with the little sex toys, all right?
Uh huh.
Which means that you wanted to do a little bit more interacting with
Yeah,
with you.
because of the rain, we did not bring out most of our sex toys. But I tell you what, yeah, next time we'll have more of the edible undies and explain to people what needs to be done, and we'll go from
Right,
there.
right, and there with your daughter and your grandchild,
Hmm.
and there's Doctor and I'm, I'm I'm sorry, your guest speaker. What's her name again? Doctor.
That was Dr. Clark.
Yes, Dr. Clark. She was now. What was the feedback you got from her? Because she was. She got books out. She's all over the place. She's very well known. What was her feedback?
Well, people did not individualize them. They just said overall it was a good workshop and they were giving me things that they were able to take away from it. But
No, no,
they
no,
didn't
no,
say
no,
one, huh?
no, 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 no. I was asking about her. Her. What was her feedback?
She thought it was very good. She liked the mixture of people.
Uh huh.
She said it was a nice mixture. The crowd was good. Oh, that's a good shot you have there.
Right. Uh huh.
Um, she really liked it. She thought it was good
Yeah. 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 She was. Because this is something that she does around the country as well. And right.
around the world.
Right.
She's been to many, many countries.
Now, you're saying that you're going to do a follow up, but you also were saying that you was getting calls to go down south.
done one down in the Fort Lauderdale area, in the Miami area. And I did promise them that I was coming back to do a follow up. So they have been calling and asking that I do a follow up on it.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't done that yet. I'm looking to do that in October.
Okay.
And also, Fort Lauderdale wants me to come and do a follow up on that. So I'm going to be doing one in Fort Lauderdale as well, and to be doing here.
Well, I was as I sat back, I observed, I watched, I looked, I listened. I was looking at the reaction from the people, and it was interesting because that's my first time ever going. Now that's interesting right there. That's a mother
Uh-huh.
daughter, and
Yes.
yes, the fact that she brought her daughter there,
Uh-huh.
that was that was kind of cool.
I
The
thought
fact
so.
that a
I
daughter
thought
would
that was
bring,
great.
I mean, the mother would bring the daughter to this type of event. Would your mother had done that?
Ah, she wouldn't even talk about sex. She wouldn't even she wouldn't even say the word sex, let alone, take me there. But I
Right,
will say that particular mother, she love her, love her, love her. That was joy. She did ask me if the content would be appropriate for her daughter, and I told
right,
her absolutely. Because it's really about healthy sexuality. We didn't really get into some of the freaky stuff, so I felt it was very appropriate for a mother daughter.
right. Now the other part of that too, Kathy, was the fact that we could see that the room was really full, but there were also
Mhm.
about maybe 10 people or more that didn't show up because of the weather.
Believe it or not, I thought it was 10 people. And the day earlier on in the day, we actually had a total of 11 people who pre registered and did not make it because of the rain.
Right, right,
So, we are working something out. So for the next time they'll come. But the rain, really, a lot of people thought it was going to be washed out because, I mean, right before the heavens opened up.
right, right. So, what is part two going to be like, though, Kathy? What is part two going to be like? I mean, what's the follow up?
It's even going to be better than this one. I'm still going to touch on some of the intimacy, how to connect, because that's kind of overwhelming. People want more information on that aspect of intimacy. Some of the enhancing the intimacy, and then we're going to be dealing with sexual dysfunctions as well. So for that, I am looking to bring in a Dr. Volker. She is also a clinical sexologist, and she's an educator as well. I'm hoping to get a urologist there to handle
Dr.
the
Woods.
sex.
Hello,
Yes,
Dr.
we're
Woods.
looking to
Uh
do
huh.
that. Yeah, we're
Question
looking
for
to
you.
do that.
Question.
Huh?
Question for you. How do you help someone through a dysfunction when they don't know they have one? Because,
Well, and that's why
and
we
and
make it.
and this is what I mean. If all of my life it's been this way, and this is the way that I
Mhm.
know, how would I know that I have a dysfunction?
The education, we are going to help them understand what healthy sexuality looks like. And from that, I'm hoping that they will be able to see that what they're doing is dysfunctional. So that through education, psychoeducation.
Right, right. Well, and the reason why I asked that question the way that I did is because a lot of times, and I know how we are as men, that we could be
Hmm.
very headstrong, very arrogant, and
Hmm.
and to
Trust
me,
me, I know.
That's only because
I know.
no. That's only because you watch Oprah. Anyway,
No, no, no.
you see how I snuck that one in.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, if I'm the macho guy, and I think I'm the macho guy, and let's just say she may have had other experiences, and even though we married and we've been dealing with this for a while, but in the back of her mind she never did really say anything, but it's finally come to a place in her life where she feels mature enough and self confident enough to finally say something, to try to do something, because she knows that there's something else, and trying to get him to understand that. Do you find that I mean, do you run across that?
Oh,
Have you run
absolutely.
across that?
Yeah, we encourage transparency. Transparency between partners. You remember that segment that I did on the questions to ask your mate?
Uh-huh.
It's really about open communication when it comes to that. Yeah,
Because
if
it's
you're openly
let me
did
I'm
I get
trying
the
to
question?
I'm 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 trying to think, how can I ask this question? I know the question that I want to ask, but I just want to make sure that I ask it
Don't dress
right.
it up, just say it.
Huh?
Don't dress it up, just say it.
No. I'm not trying to dress it up. I'm trying to figure out a way to ask it to get the answer that I'm looking for. No, I'm not trying to dress it up. Do you find where, because of the lack of knowing how to communicate, for no other reason than they may not be mature enough, or have self confidence enough in the bedroom, a major problem is because of the lack of communication, and they don't know how to, is I guess what I'm saying. Even though they're married and they have been married and they're supposed to know each other, and they've been married for a while, but still they haven't reached that level of just in honesty within themselves, into this is my mate and I should be able to reflect and talk to, and all the things that a mate is supposed to be in the sense of communication. But somehow or another, because it's sex, now anything else they probably can talk about, but when it comes to sex, I just can't reach that place of comfort to say what I want to say for it to be what it should be.
Fear, yeah, fear is what would I don't think it's that they don't know how to say it. I think, or at least what I found, is that fear that they may be rejected, fear that they will be thought of as being a pervert or, something like that. Just fear of communicating their needs.
See, now you said something, and and we had this conversation before,
Mhm.
because I think there's sometimes, as a man, there's some things that I may want to do to another woman, but I may not want to do to my wife, or vice versa.
And then sometimes that's exactly what the wife is thinking. Oh, I want him to do this.
But I'm saying, but do you run into that though? I mean, what I'm saying is, there's something that in his mind, that in his mind he thinks that he want to, and I put it where you can understand it, violate her, to in his mind.
Mhm.
It's part of what I want to do, but I don't want to do it to my wife. I may want to do it to somebody else because I feel like I may be violating her or something like that.
Yeah, and that's when people are not authentic and it doesn't work because that can lead to infidelity. And I think one of the things that men don't realize is that women also have fantasies. And I think you may have a fantasy, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to act out on it. I still think you need to have that conversation with your wife without fearing that you're going to be rejected.
Okay, so you now that you said that, so what happens when he has the conversation and she goes, or he goes, no, 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 you crazy. If I had known you was like that, I wouldn't have married you. What happens?
Then that's when you go back to working on intimacy, because to be truly authentic, you should know the person.
What? Say what?
Yeah.
No, no,
Listen,
Kathy, come on now, because you know
listen,
we
you
got
know
some
what
deep,
I
dark
think
secrets.
my
Come on now, you
belief
know we got some
is
deep, dark
that,
secrets.
see, that's the reason why you shouldn't pretend in relationship.
But,
If
but,
you're a
but,
little
but,
freaky, your partner need to know that you're a little freaky in
but,
your
but,
thinking,
but
then
that's
you're
not
not
how
going to
we
work it
are,
out.
Kathy. Come on now, you know that's not how we are. You know we got stuff in the closet, and it comes out later. That's only
And
because
that's
it done
why
filled up so much.
that's,
She opened the closet and all stuff started flying out.
and guess what?
What?
That's why it's important for us to talk about sex so that people can understand that as long as it's taking place between two consenting adults and they're okay with it, there's nothing wrong with it. If you're not violating each other, how is
Right,
the
right,
person
right,
going to
right.
know
But
what your fantasies are if you don't talk about it?
right, but what everything you just said is very true. But a lot of us are not that mature enough to understand what you just said.
Well, then that's the reason why we're having the workshop, and men need to start coming out to the workshop so we can show them the light.
Right. Well, I just, I mean, the workshop is great. I mean, it really is. And anytime you can bring people together in the sense that the couples to to talk and open up, because even I know the the biggest, the greatest advantage or the blessing is the communication. If I feel comfortable, and if there's patience, and if we can talk, then we got half of the problem solved. You know.
Exactly.
See, I know when it comes to that part of the anatomy, when it comes to that part of it, God gave y'all the advantage. Okay. And I say that as a man. Now I don't know what you got going. I don't know how you see it, but I see that the woman has the advantage.
Girls rule the world.
Hey, 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 you ain't gonna get no argument from me. Hey, 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 hey. But I understand. But that's a whole nother show as well. So that's a whole nother show as well. But to understand that though, to put it back on your lap. But
Hmm.
if I have the patience, if I have the patience in knowing that your body is complex, I understand that. Remember, I think we had this conversation before that God made your body complex. It's nothing like mine. It's nothing like mine.
Uh,
Zero.
yeah, true.
So
Mhm.
I have to also understand the mind game, the mental game, because with women, a lot of times it's mental. If I can get inside your head, you know, and let that follow and lead up to all the other stuff to make you feel comfortable in that manner, emotionally, mentally, then I got you. I mean, in a positive way. I'm not talking about I got you. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying with that, and then being able to communicate. And with women, it's not a wham bam think it's not. No, that's not what, you can't do that with a
Nope.
woman. And it
Yeah,
has
true.
to, you have to take your time. You have to take your time, and it leads up to
Oh,
stuff that
yeah.
leads up to other stuff. I understand that. And I didn't learn that from
Hmm.
Oprah.
You learned, I taught you that. Okay.
No, but I would love to be a fly on the wall, man, just simply because when you gonna write your book?
Believe it or not, I have this good friend out in California, Rob Wise. He was just telling me the other day that he has written 8 books. And I said, you know something? Within the next year or so, I need to bring out my book too. So, yeah, I'm thinking about that.
Oh, we
And
did.
I know exactly what I'm going to write about. I'm not going to say it right now, but yeah, yeah.
I'm going to tell you what you should name your book.
Okay, what?
If I Were a Man.
If I were a man. We got to talk about that more to conceptualize it.
No, because I
If
mean,
I were
no,
a
no, no. Check it
man,
out. Check it out. No, 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 no,
that's
no, no,
interesting.
no, 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 no. What I'm saying is, if the book was called "If I Were a Man," right? Because
Uh-huh.
now what you're doing is you revealing all the secrets of a woman that a man should know. So it's called "If I Were a Man." This is what the book is talking, but it's talking about what he should know,
What he should know.
right? If I were a man, you're writing the book.
Uh-huh.
Now you're revealing
Okay.
all the things that a woman is and what a man should know
And what
and
a
how to
man should
satisfy a
know.
woman.
There you
See, you
go.
get it? You get it? See, now that's a nice hook. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's a good book. Yeah, that's a good book.
Right, right. Duh. Hello.
Uh-huh. All right.
You know, you can share the
There you
royalties with
go.
me later, but I just gave
All
it to you.
right. There you go. There you go. All
Right?
right.
The book is called "If I Were a Man," a man. And the book
Uh-huh.
is about you as a woman explaining how stupid we are and what we should know.
Oh Lord, yeah, you're right about that. You guys are so darn stupid.
You want to know why? No, no,
But
no,
we
no.
love you anyway. We
No,
can't
no,
do
no.
without
You want to
you.
know why?
Uh-huh.
Huh?
Why?
Because our ego supersedes us. And because we're so
Yeah.
egotistical, we can't put it in a place where we can be logical without being so arrogant because we we can't fall on our face. You can't see us
Yeah.
fall on our face. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. You have a point there because the ego of some men, it's just so fragile. You're
And then
right.
and then the funny thing with what you just said, remember what I was saying about how you guys got all the advantages?
Mhm.
But we never approach the situation that way because our arrogance won't let us acknowledge that in reality, I need to be led by you because I need to learn who you are because each woman is different. But our egos won't let us.
Yeah,
So that's why we
right.
falter. That's why we fail in that area because
Mhm.
we're so successful over here, but over there, on a scale from 1 to 10, we're 2. And we're going to put it
Yeah, I
on
would say
you
a one. You're
because we're
right.
just that arrogant.
Hmm. Just that arrogant, which takes me to the beginning of the show, where you think that a man, it's going to be all peaceful.
And then,
That is hilarious.
and, 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 and then you want to know what we do?
Mhm.
We blame it on you.
Yeah,
Yeah, we blame it on you. And there's something wrong with you. You got a problem, girl.
yes,
You got
you're
a
the
problem.
problem. You're not doing some. Oh, I get that all the time. Men go out and they cheat, and they say, "Oh, it's your fault because you didn't do this and you didn't do that." I'm like, that's bull crap. What? What? No, you're immature. Yes, that's true. You guys have the arrogance to turn around and blame the female.
No, but hey, but then again, I mean, I got a couple of stories, and I was a friend of sharing someone that's been married for over 30 years,
Uh-huh.
and they still haven't figured each other out sexually. after they've been married for 30 years.
What they've been, oh, say what? For 30, so
They
what have they
still,
been doing? For 30
after 30
years?
years, they still haven't figured out each other.
You need to give them my number.
But see, the funny thing is, it's funny because I would have loved for them to come to the workshop. I'm gonna ask if he. But see, I don't think that he will, because the problem is his ego. And so after 30
Yeah.
years, he has never had oral sex with his wife, or she has never
Oh,
had oral sex with him
what?
after. Oh, okay, after 30 years.
Oh, oh, okay.
Okay, but it's really not her. It's just when if you understand him, then you understand what the issue really is. But they've been married for over 30 years.
Well, if what they're doing, they don't have any problems with it and they don't want to enhance it, they're okay.
No, but no, 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 no. For 30 years they've been complaining.
And none of them will take the initiative to go out to get help.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just
So they're satisfied with mediocrity. Nobody can help them.
okay. I mean, on
Because if you're not sexually fulfilled, right? You're in a relationship and you're thinking there's gotta be more. It's either one person, you're gonna do something and say, we need some help. You know, if none of them is saying that, something is wrong. They're satisfied.
I don't. I have no idea. I I have
I
no
don't think
idea.
they are. If they were satisfied, you wouldn't know about it. So it takes some education for them to know. Has she ever had an orgasm?
Who? Her or him?
Uh-huh.
Her?
Her.
Him? I don't know.
Her.
Her? Oh, I don't.
Oh,
I don't know
I
whether or not
thought
that
you
man
had
wife
the
and had an
inside
orgasm.
information.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought you had the inside information. Pardon me.
You know what? I tell you what. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. You know what? That's a good question. I'm gonna see if I can find the answer.
Oh
The next time,
Lord.
the next time we have the show next month, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna let you know that I'm gonna see if I can find the answer to that question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see.
So, what is their hang-ups about oral sex? Because maybe there is something there. Is it
All I
that they
know is
think
that
it's
he wanted her
unhealthy?
to, and she never did. So I don't know.
Oh. Well, she can they could probably try some sex toys to see if it would be comfortable. Well, that's a start anyway. I don't think sex toys really, it enhances it, but it doesn't replace it. But maybe just, looking at some sex toys and experimenting with that, which that's another part of it. In the next workshop, I'm going to have some people demonstrate the sex toy. I mean, talk about the sex toys, how they work.
I like how you
Because we
said it the
didn't get
first
to do
time.
that.
I like how you
We
said it
didn't
the
get
first time.
That's, you notice I corrected
Yeah, yeah.
myself.
I like how you said it the first time that they're going to demonstrate, you know, the sex toy. I am going to be there. You make sure you give me the
I
date.
caught myself and I corrected myself. But
No, no. But I like how you said it the first time.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll be
No,
demonstrating the
as
sex
a matter of
toys.
fact, I think that it's on demand that you demonstrate the sex toys.
Demonstrate the sex toys.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
that you
demonstrating.
demonstrate the sex toys.
Oh boy.
Right. And I'm gonna bring some extra batteries just in case.
Okay, all right.
Some
You're a
some
hot mess.
ever ready.
And with some edible panties.
Oh, go ahead and expose yourself.
And you work
I
at
mean,
that part.
ooh. Oh, oh,
Yeah, we
you bad doctor, you bad. You
I
bad
know, I
doctor.
know.
That's funny. Well, you're gonna
You
let
are
us know
bad.
the date and the time of the next one, of course. You get the,
Yes,
we
I will. Yes, as it gets closer, I will advertise it. Of course, I know it's going to be in the month of October because I have so many things going on in September. So it will be in October.
okay. All right. Well, I want to thank you so very much. I enjoyed the workshop.
Thank you very much.
I,
Thank you
I really
so
did.
much for all of your help.
It was great to see the people. It was great to hear the questions.
Uh-huh.
So, but it was good. And then it was. Oh, well, I will share this with you once we end. I see. I almost told on myself, but I had to remember the show is still going on, so I can't say it. I say it when the show is going off because I almost exposed something that I wasn't supposed to on this
Okay.
show. I have to wait till the show is over. You know. So.
But wait. The next workshop, what we're going to do, we're going to have people ask their questions, put their questions, their secret questions in a box, and then we're going to read it. We're going to respond to them at the end so that
Okay.
people don't even have to know who is asking the question. So
Right.
for those people with sexual hang-ups and they don't want to go public with it,
Right.
we're going to address those.
Okay, well, that's a good idea. So
Yeah.
if you hear a question that comes up about peanut butter and a dog, it didn't come from me. Okay,
Okay. It did not come from you,
right.
Charles. Okay.
Now anything to do with peanut butter and a dog, it didn't come from me.
So when I'm answering the question, I'm going to say, well, Charles, let me tell you.
You want to know what, Kathy? I actually did that joke with a friend of mine, this girl who I was talking to, that I just met, and I guess I shouldn't have done that joke because Kathy, the girl thought that I really wanted a dog and some peanut butter, and I could not
Oh my
convince her
goodness.
otherwise. I was like, "Boy,
Oh
you
my
no,
goodness.
no." But I'm serious. I did that joke, and you could have sworn that sister was like. And she really thought that I wanted to. Anyway, I was
People
like,
are just
really?
too
I like,
serious.
really?
Yeah, life is just too short. We got to be able to laugh and not take ourselves too seriously.
It's like, wow. Okay,
I know.
it's funny, man. People, but I know you run into some strange stuff though, But hey,
Oh, yeah.
it is what it is. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you have any clientele that might be able to tune in to our show dealing with parents' rights and custody and that type of stuff. So you let the people know that on the fourth Monday of every month we will be doing a show with Akeem Nkrumah. That's what the show is going to be on.
Okay.
Also, people, remember to tune in to Youth Central Sports every Wednesday night with Vince Carter Sr. at 11 p.m. at youthcentralsports.com, where we talk sports and have a lot of fun with the original Coach Carter, the original Coach Carter, as he says.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
do that every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. at Youth Central Sports. And also, you make sure that you like us on Facebook and you subscribe to us on YouTube right here to Journey 2020. So with that, as you know, the third Monday of every month, Dr. Kathy Meeks is right here. And we are looking forward to that workshop that's coming up in October. So with that being said, thank you so very much, and I want you to enjoy the rest of your week. Know you got something
Thank you
special going
so
on.
much.
Oh, by the way, I look for you on, when was that? Friday? Was it Friday or Monday? What's the
Uh,
no Friday? I looked for you on Friday. You were out of town.
yes, I was out of town.
Well, shame on you. You know you can't be out of town when I come to the office.
I know. You should have given me advance notice.
Yeah, I mean, I came looking for you. I came looking for you, and then you were not there. So I was like, "Where's Miss Kathy?" They said, "Well, she's out of town." So,
Yeah.
so I missed you at the office on Friday. I was hurt. I was
Sorry,
heartbroken.
sorry about that. Oh boy. Well, I know how to heal a broken heart, so come back and see me and I'll help you to heal.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. You just make that a promise.
Okay, thank you so much for having me on your
Sure.
show. It's always a pleasure.
All right. That's Dr. Kathy Meeks. She is a certified, sister is certified sex therapist. Okay. Anyway, with that being said, we want to thank you here at the Journey 2020. Please enjoy the rest of your week.